Thank you for tuning in to the Belonging Podcast by Elev8 Villages. This is the founder's log. This will be my first of many of just you and me. Um, when you found a nonprofit, when you found something innovative, something new, something that doesn't exist, it's a long and meaningful road. And I think a lot of people in the world are doing a lot of big things. And I think a lot of people are doing a lot of things that have been done. And there's people doing new things that haven't been done. So when you're doing something new, when you're doing something full of passion and meaning, the journey's long, and the journey's hard, and the journey's wonderful, and the journey's amazing and terrifying all together. So when we were discussing the Elev8 Villages Belonging podcast, I really felt like having this founder's log would be important. Just things that will come up, maybe things that I learned from a podcast, because we're going to have awesome guests already. The guests have taught me so much. So it may be I'm reflecting back on a podcast and what I learned. It might be some new learning, some new aha, something I'm just sort of percolating in my brain and I want to share with you. Today, I just want to kind of like show you where I'm at, what's going on. How did we get from the first vision of Elev8 Villages to where we are now? It's been nearly 3 years. And today I'm in Palestine, Texas. I work on Elev8 Villages every day. What I do to keep a roof over my head is I'm a dog sitter. So I'm out in Palestine, Texas. God brought me to a beautiful place. He guided me here. He provided the opportunity. And so while I take care of dogs all day, 24/7, 365, I get to live in a beautiful place where I'm safe and inspired. And I have plenty of time to learn everything I need to learn to move this vision forward. I feel like from all the conversations I have, there's plenty of people who see the vision and cheer me on, my cheerleaders. Thank you to those of you. You know who you are. But then there's also plenty of people who they need to see something fast. They want to see the village already. And I understand that. I want to see the village too, but there's a long curve, a long growth, a long path between the vision and the reality. And while I work pretty much in silence, behind the scenes, all day, every day, when I look back over 3 years, there's a lot I can show. But there's no village yet. And so it can get frustrating day by day when people are like, oh, well, why isn't there a village yet? Why aren't you on tour yet? So today, I'm not yet. I'm here working every day, studying every day, learning every day. And it feels like I'm in a hallway. I'm in a hallway between the life that was and the life that will be. And it's sort of, some people might call it the messy middle, although I don't know that that captures it. But it's like I'm walking down this long hallway and there's doors and some of the doors open and things come out and they give me lessons and they give me teachings. And other times the hallway feels like it's going to end, but then it keeps going. So that's where I'm at. I'm just in the hallway working every day until we see progress. So when this all started, while I had a really clear vision and a really clear why and a really clear what needs to happen, I didn't have all the answers. I didn't have a roadmap. There wasn't proof that this would work. What I did have was a really deep knowing. And early on, what I noticed, this was probably in month 1 or 2. Like I wasn't 45 days into this journey, that I looked back over my life and all of the things I'd done, all of the different parts of me, my personality, the way I was brought up, my schooling, my the jobs, my careers, my choices, my hobbies. When I looked at every single one, it was really exciting because what I realized was I was preparing for this journey my entire life. There's not a chapter, there's not a page of my life that doesn't show me that I was walking the path of learning. So when I got the vision of Elev8 Villages, while I still have lots of lessons to learn, there's that confidence of knowing how to do these things piece by piece and knowing that I have a lot of the knowledge needed to learn the things I need to learn to get this to happen. And on top of that, there was a sense of I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't see the problem, see the solution, and just sit back and go, well, let's hope somebody else does it, or wow, what a great idea, but it's going to be too hard, or oh, that's impossible. Like, once you know, and you can't look away and you can't do anything else. And I'll tell you, my whole life, no matter what I did it 100%, and I showed up and was the best person I could be. But on the side, I was always thinking of other things. And that's why I started multiple businesses. I might be doing one and then having another one on the side. And I had lots of side gigs, not because I couldn't commit to things, but because I wasn't in my forever thing yet. Some people know their forever thing early on, and that's amazing. We need those people to really anchor down and bring us decades in depth of wisdom. And then there's others of us. I have heard the word multi-potentialite, and I like that. So here's to my multi-potentialites. We learn a lot of different things, and we have a very wide and deep pool of knowledge and experience. And so having been that person, how strange it was for me to come to the spot where there is nothing I want beside the vision of Elev8 Villages and beside making that vision a reality. I think that's the biggest thing I knew. I knew that's why I had to do this, because there was no longer anything else that pulled me. There was no longer any other piece of a dream. All it is getting Elev8 Villages going. From the beginning, I knew about youth that aged out of foster care and what happened to them. I knew the stories. But once I found the solution, once the vision was given to me of the solution, I went and learned more. I found books that these youth had written, some of them now grown adults. I read all the stories I could get my hands on. And you know what else happened? Like, as I started this journey, people were brought to me, just random people I would meet that I would find out had aged out of the foster care system and had struggled. Some of them are now having success. A lot of them have struggled their whole life. A lot of them continue to struggle with abandonment and with not belonging anywhere and not being able to, kind of being always behind the ball. No matter how hard they work, no matter how much they show up, they just weren't handed the keys to opportunity. And so while they're beautiful people, it's just been a life of struggle, and they've done things they have to do to feed themselves and to stay, in home, but they've never been able to truly use their gifts. And while their gifts soothe them and bring an inner joy, these are gifts that the world needs to use. And so through all those stories, it just really focused the goal, the job of Elev8 Villages, that we need to stop asking these young people just to be resilient and just bootstrap it. Because what I know is we all need each other. And somebody who grew up without people caring and walking them day by day, season by season, year by year into how to live a successful life or how to survive in this world, how are you supposed to do it alone? And I've come to believe very strongly that if we do it alone, we're missing it. We're missing all the joy that we could be bringing to each other and the lessons we can be learning from each other and the co-creating and the places of belonging that I need to be. And sometimes you need to be, and that we're creating those places together. So that's part of what's really kept me on this journey. And what I realized was that this journey isn't always about answers. The answers come, but this journey has been more about faithfulness. This journey has been more about faith. This journey has been more about passion. This journey has been more about learning than it's been about answers. And so the answers that come are great and they will continue to come, but my focus is on faithfulness, faithfulness to loving the fatherless, feeding the hungry, making sure people have somewhere to lay at night, making sure that the opportunities so that they can then share their gifts with the world exist. It shouldn't be a luxury to have a safe place or to belong in a community. And, a lot of the youth who age out of foster care end up in gangs. And go figure, that's a community that's wide open for them when all the other communities have been shut. So just a tiny example. But imagine when no one's believed in you and all of a sudden you don't just have one person that believes in you, but you have a community that believes in you. Those are the kind of thoughts that excite me at night, that keep me so focused on this work. This work isn't about saving anyone. This work is about innovating a new way to live so that people aren't put on the fringes. People aren't pushed out to them. It's not us and them anymore. It's always us. It's always been us. And when we make someone a them, we're just hurting ourselves. And I don't know that I ever understood that to the depth I do now until I started this journey. Now I see it everywhere. It feels like we like to section ourselves off to our safe little circle and everybody else is on the outside. But when Jesus was telling the story about the Good Samaritan, it was the person least likely to help and to serve that crossed the street and served. And the longer I'm doing this work, the more grateful I am that I can be that person to cross the street and to serve those that no one else is helping, that people are not looking at, people are walking the long way around. Not all the days I would say none of the days are easy. They're hard, but then, choose your hard. I would rather a hard day working to change the lives of so many youth that aged out of foster care. I would rather work that hard day all day long, every day, day after day. So the hard doesn't get me. I think what gets me more is the slowness of progress. Those moments of doubt and fatigue. I'm going, and you don't see the results you want to see fast enough. And on those days, I just have to go back to faith and go back to the vision and remember how important it is and how this work has to be done. And then the slowness and the disappointments and the doubt just fade away. And then I realize in that moment of slowness, it gave me the space to learn some pretty amazing lessons. I've learned more in the last 3 years than I think I learned for 2 decades prior. And I never really had the spaciousness in my life that I have now. And so I'm really, really grateful for that. I have space to read and to learn and to talk to people and to just sit with my thoughts and let my brain sort of sift through 50 years of life and maybe things that I used to think. And now that I'm why did I think those? And am I still going to think those? And so, yeah, I'm really grateful for this long, slow journey. And I know 10 years from now, when there's villages, these 3, 4, 5 years aren't going to seem like much. But when you're in the middle of it, when you're in the middle of that hallway and you're walking it alone, those are times when you can get discouraged. So whatever you're working towards, know that you're not going to wake up tomorrow and everything's going to be fixed. But you're going to wake up tomorrow and be one step further or 1 degree closer. And that's just that progress. And if you do go 2 steps backwards, then take another 2 steps forwards. Because maybe life's not about triumph. Maybe it's about the transformation. Maybe it's about working in things that stretch you, humble you, and strengthen you. Because I can tell you these last 3 years, I have been stretched, humbled, and strengthened in ways that I didn't know I need. I didn't know to go look for these things that I needed to learn. But I followed the passions that I have. I follow my heart. I follow my faith. And these lessons have come to me. Learning about myself, the deeper self, has been a journey. Yeah, I wouldn't trade this journey for anything. I'd have to say this work isn't about building villages. It is about building villages, but it's also about building something in me. And I think that everyone who comes and joins in this vision, whether they're volunteers or donors or prayer partners or people who just walk with me a block or a mile, I think that this journey will change them too. I think it'll build something in everybody who touches it. Because this journey is not about me. It's not about the village. It's not even about the youth. It's about us. It's about community. It's about coming together. It's about coming together, really practicing love. Unconditional, I see you love. Love that says you don't have to be a certain person or do a certain thing or have a certain amount in the bank. You just have to be you and be human. And I love that. And I love you. So I'd say, if you're on the journey with me, thank you. And if you're on your own journey and you have big ideas or you have small ideas, you have passions, or you're just showing up every day being faithful. And if sometimes you feel like you're in the hallway all alone, keep going. Keep going. Be grateful for the lessons. Be grateful that you're in the hallway because you could be somewhere else that you're not meant to be. I've never felt more joy. I've never felt safer. I've never felt more inspired than I've felt on this journey because I was given the greatest gift of a purpose that will make the world, that will make a space, make even just a tiny space in the world that hasn't really existed before. Not in this way. It'll give us a chance to create something better, to live in a way that brings so much glory to our Creator. So, to whoever's listening, if you've made it this far in this podcast, thank you. And I see you. And whatever you're going through, keep going. Keep going. And I would love to hear your story as well. So you can contact me, Melissa at Elev8 Villages. Drop a note here. I would love to hear about your journey. Don't ask to do the big thing. Don't even look for instructions if it's never been done. Just be present. Show up every day willing to learn another lesson. Show up every day excited that who you are is unique. And there's not another one of you in this world, so no one else can do what you're supposed to do. Only you can do that. We're all given the same 24 hours in a day. How are you going to spend yours? Thank you for being here. You're not alone. I'm going to sign off on log number 1 for now. This is brought to you by Elev8 Villages, where we build together.